In this video, we're going to explore how to use PHP with MySQL to create databases and tables. We will be focusing on data definition language, or DDL operations through PHP for managing database structures. Before we can start creating databases and tables, we need to establish a connection to our MySQL server. This slide demonstrates the basic connection setup using MySQL, which is a PHP extension that allows you to access MySQL databases. First, we define the server name, username, and password. In this example, the server name is localhost, the username is root, and there is no password. Then we create a new MySQL object using these credentials. Finally, we check if the connection was successful. If there is a connection error, the script will terminate and display an error message. Otherwise, the connection is established. Now that we have a connection to the MySQL server, we can create a new database. In this example, we are creating a database named MyStore. The code constructs an SQL query using the create database command. Then, the query method of the connection object is called to execute the SQL command. If the database is created successfully, a message is printed to the screen. If there's an error message is displayed. It's important to note that you should have the necessary privileges to create databases on the MySQL server. Once you've created a database, you need to select it so you can work with its tables and data. There are two common methods to select a database using PHP and MySQL. The first method uses the select_db function. You pass the database name, in this case MyStore, as an argument. If the selection is successful, it will output database selected. Otherwise, it will show an error message. The second method involves using the SQL command use followed by the database name. This command is executed using the query function. Similar to the first method, a success or error message will be displayed based on the outcome. After selecting the database, you can create tables within it. This slide shows how to create a table named users. The SQL statement begins with create table users. Inside the parentheses, we define the columns of the table and their data types. For example, the first column is ID, which is an integer and is set as the primary key in auto increments. Then we have first name and last name, both of which are varchar with a length of 30 characters and are set to not null, meaning they cannot be empty. Next, we have an email column, which is a varchar with a length of 50 characters. Finally, there's a reg_date column, which is a timestamp with the default value of the current timestamp. The code then executes the SQL query using the query method. If the table is created successfully, a message is displayed. Otherwise, an error message will appear. When creating tables, it is very important to choose the correct data types for your columns. MySQL offers various data types to store different kinds of data. On the left, we have numeric types. Int is used for storing integer numbers. Decimal is used for storing fixed point numbers, which are useful when precision is important, such as with monetary values. Float is used for floating point numbers, and double is used for double precision floating point numbers. On the right, we have string and date types. Varchar is used for storing variable length strings. Text is used for long text data. Date is used for storing date values, and timestamp is used for storing date and time values. Sometimes you might need to modify an existing table. This slide shows how to add and drop columns from a table. On the left, the code shows how to add a column named phone to the users table. The SQL command alter table users at column phone varchar 15 is used to achieve this. This adds a new column named phone with the data type varchar, which can hold a string of up to 15 characters. On the right, the code demonstrates how to drop the phone column from the users table. The SQL command alter table users drop column phone is used to remove the column. In both cases, the query method is used to execute the SQL command, and a success or error message is displayed accordingly. Finally, if you no longer need a table or database, you can drop them. This slide shows how to drop a table and a database. On the left, the code shows how to drop the users table. The SQL command drop table users is used to remove the table from the database. On the right, the code shows how to drop the MySQL database. The SQL command drop database MySQL is used to remove the database and all its contents. Be careful when using these commands, as they will permanently delete the data. Always make sure you have a backup if the data is important. In both examples, the query method is used to execute the SQL command. If the operation is successful, a message is displayed. Otherwise, an error message is shown. If you like this video, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. Visit codelucky.com for more such useful content.